Hi, it's David again, reporting on the LDS circus. Jesus. Ah, God. You know, it used to be that you could go on Ancestry.org and look up people who were married and their children's names, their wives' names, whatever. It used to be a very reliable website, basically put out by the LDS Church. Well, with Romney now running for the President of the United States, and since Joseph Smith didn't win, maybe 2 times is the charm. I don't think so, but maybe. Well, the LDS Church has gone in, and about 9 of Joseph Smith's wives were translated and raptured like the other 900,000 in Brazil that don't exist. They've taken 7 or 9 wives off. They're only showing 24 wives now. And they've shut down the ability to go in and look at Joseph Smith's family ancestry. Now it happens that I have some friends that have copies, and I've seen them before they took them off. I'm testifying to you. I know it's true that they used to produce all of the names and the birth dates, etc., of all of the wives. Well, now some of the wives have disappeared. And isn't it interesting that little Helen Mar Kimball and Nancy Winchester's birthdays are estimated? They know those were 14-year-old girls. And Fannie Mae Auger, she was, I think, 16. The church knows. The church is an expert on numbers. They know birth dates and dates of death and whatever. Well, they're a full-time organization now trying to cover up their policies, their procedures, and their doctrine, and especially their history. Joseph Smith marrying 2 14-year-olds and several 16-year-olds, and other men's wives who were married already to other men, classifies him as a sex addict and a perpetrator and a child molester and a predator. I mean, the church is trying to clean that up. I would be a better prophet. I haven't done any of those things. Take me. Give me your money. Good Lord. Was Jesus drinking that day that he made Joseph the modern day prophet? This guy had 200 lawsuits. 48 of them were criminal. He was convicted of fraud in New York City and ordered to get on a horse and never come back. They called it leg bail. The horse's legs bailed him out. He printed his own damn money in Kirtland. It was counterfeit. It didn't amount to anything, and he ran out of town there owing hundreds or thousands, or I don't think millions, but monies to the Mormon people who believed in him. Then he goes to Liberty Jail. God, he's been in every jail from New York to the Mississippi, and it's all because he's a true prophet. Satan is trying to stop him, and so God sent an angel to Joseph with a flaming sword. Now, I don't know how you put a sword of metal on fire, but maybe it's like the Olympic torch or something. And God, Jesus, called up the angel department and said, get a damn flaming sword and go down there and scare the shit out of little Joseph. I want him marrying as many 14-year-old, 8th grade girls as he can find. So I've been looking for the flying angel. I have a sign out front of my house that said, angels flying with flaming sword, welcome. The only thing I get is the goddamn missionaries. And I say, are you the flaming sword? And they go, no, we're not. So anyway, the Mormon church is covering up. You know, if they keep covering up, they're going to cover themselves up like a tomb, a grave. They're not going to exist. There's no history. They have cleaned up everything that they can, and each month that gets closer to the election, Joseph isn't marrying actually 14-year-olds, 8th graders. They're girls that looked a lot younger than they were. It's not true. Helen Mar Kimball was President Heber C. Kimball's daughter. Joseph wanted to marry his wife. And he goes, holy shit, no, you can't marry my wife. Here, take my daughter. Now there's a father that sticks up for his children. Come on. It's just becoming, I'm glad I've lived long enough to see it. I'm glad I've lived long enough to see the Mormon Church finally get caught in its lies. Now, if I hadn't come on this video right here, we're coming up on 80,000 hits. My mom keeps clicking down in Orm. David, it's coming up. You people wouldn't know this shit. It's done secretly. It's done behind the curtain. Pay no attention to that man behind the curtain. This is truly the Wizard of Oz. Monson is the Wizard of Oz. He never showed up for the 24th of July parade, which is unheard of. Every prophet, as far as I know, now I could be off on this, but every prophet since I have been in the church 50 years was always at the 24th of July parade because it's a Mormon holiday. Well, Monson's so sick or so senile now, they didn't dare put him even in a rocking chair and put him out there. So the corporate handlers and the PR people and the people who make money to keep the money coming in for their own salaries have doctored the records. That's why you can't get the documented history of the church anymore by B.H. Roberts. That's been taken out of print. McConkey's book, where he made all kinds of derogatory comments about black people for 50 years. His book is now out of print. And, you know, the Mormon Church is slowly trying to bury its history, bury its policies and procedures. You know, they took the slitting of the throat and the cutting of the stomach penalties out of the temples in the 90s. I think you're going to see more, maybe no garments or garments optional, temples that are shut right now, that there's not enough people to even fill them up for a session. They're on a waiting basis. The baptisms for the dead, the Mormons are recycling names over and over, and the Jews went bullshit on you know, baptizing Jews that were in the Holocaust into the Mormon Church. If you were a Jew in the Holocaust, you've been punished enough. You don't need to be a Mormon. And the Jews go, wait, you know, don't punish our people anymore. So now the church is backpedaling there. They're not doing that anymore. And you're just seeing the entire Mormon church dissolving. Piece by piece by piece, it's dissolving. And I still get people that will comment, and I let them comment. The truth is the truth. I don't care. They comment on here and say, well, people don't know us. That's why we're shrinking. That's why the devil is in this. He doesn't want people to know about us. I don't know how you say any more plainly to a Mormon, you are well known. It's not that people don't know your religion. They don't interpret your religion the way you do. You think it's okay for Joseph Smith to jump around naked on Helen Mar Kimball and push her teddy bear out of the way while he's in bed. That's your religion. You think that's okay. When you present that to the real world and real people, my daughter's turning 14 in a couple of months. I don't think she's ready for a 38-year-old man to be bonking her. I just don't. And Nancy Winchester and Faye, what was her name? I said it once before. Anyway, the point is, people do understand the Mormon Church intricately. They've heard of it. They know about the temple ceremony. When you threaten to cut somebody's throat or cut their guts out if they reveal secret handshakes, Mormons, you have a testimony of that. Your interpretation of that is basically it's okay. When you put that out on the internet, normal people go, holy shit, I don't want anything to do with this. And you can't believe they're interpreting it a different way. Your way of interpreting it is through occult interpretation. The real world is not going to take 8th grade girls and marry them. And a lot of you say, oh, they were marrying them back then at that age. That's not true. Go check your facts out. Girls were married between 20 and 22 during Joseph Smith's time. Is it true that a 16-year-old can get married today? Well, down south, with parental permission, I think that's still allowed down south. But take a look. Are all those guys that are marrying 16-year-olds prophets? I don't think so. So, Mormons who watch me and Mormons who hate me, people know about your religion. You don't need to send a missionary to knock on the door of people. They've read the internet, they have friends, they have seen movies, and they know all about your religion. They don't interpret it your way. That is the argument right there. It's not lack of knowledge. Marrying a 14-year-old, in your opinion, is godly. We find it atrocious in the real world that you would match a 14-year-old girl up and say that a flaming sword angel told her to marry you, scare the poor girl to death, and she brings her teddy bear to bed with her. It's not that we don't know your religion. We don't want your religion. We don't want the world you want. We don't interpret the facts the way your cult has told you to interpret them. So you're like little broken recording machines going around bearing your testimony, which is fine. You believe it, but your testimony is not going to convince a normal person that, you know, Brigham Young killing 120 innocent people from Arkansas, down in Washington County, down there by St. George, was a good thing. And that polygamy was a good thing. Most people in the United States go, you know, I don't think it's fair to women. I really don't think it's fair. And you do. You think that Joseph and Brigham got word from Jesus, and I think Jesus was drinking when he got those two clowns, and said, hey, let's all screw whoever we want. That's a good idea. Married, non-married, 14-year-olds, there's no age limit, there's no time limits. You can just enjoy yourself. Man, that's what caused people to join the early Mormon church. If you were a pedophile, it was a good place to be. Still is. It still is. So anyway, this video is on the summary, or at least the notification, that the Mormon Church is taking Joseph Smith off of the Ancestry.com and the public documents that shows he had 24 to 37 wives, their birthdays, their ages. They're burying all that because they know the Obama administration has already got that probably. And, you know, I hope that Obama says to Mitt Romney, do you believe in having 8th graders marry 38-year-old men? That's a legitimate question. That's a legitimate question. And he can say yes or no. So Mormons, please try to adjust that your interpretations are not held by the general world population. We were not born in the cult. Yeah, I was 7 or 8 when my parents joined the church, so I wasn't born, but I've been in it all my life. And the cult kept telling me how to interpret an 8th grade girl married to a 38-year-old man, that he was special, that he's a prophet, and that God's ways are not our ways. And we don't know. In the millennium, Jesus will straighten. We were told all of these answers. None of them are true. Normal people go, what? And they go, not for me and my family. I don't want to be Mormons. I know all about their Book of Mormon and the DNA that shows that those people came from Asia. They weren't Indians. They came from Asia and walked over here. And they don't have Jewish blood. And the Book of Abraham is a funeral talk for an Egyptian. It's not written by Abraham or about Abraham. It was falsified. The Book of Mormon has had 3,000 corrections. You used to, in your religion, say that people were white and delightsome. Well, now the white and delightsome people go, well, we like that, but the blacks and the browns go, we don't like that. So you changed it. You said pure and delightsome. World, go back and look at an old Book of Mormon. If I'm lying, I'm dying. The Mormon Church is trying to conform to modern thought and Christianity, it doesn't even come close. So Mormons, please don't go around saying to everybody that people don't join you or they hate you because they don't know anything about you. They know everything about you, and they won't join you, and they do hate some of your doctrines and the way you push yourself by knocking on our doors and trying to convince us that we all need to be marrying 8th grade girls. Thanks.